I'm here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia,
Yep.
very close to Halifax, and I'm here with Colin of Steele Chevrolet GM dealership.
Yep, we're a full-line GMC Cadillac Buick dealership. Yep.
And they were very kind to let me use their charger in their location. And Colin has been really giving me some great information about his future for electrification. So Colin, please let me know and tell my viewers know more about your commitment.
Yeah, I mean, we're part of a fairly large auto group in Atlantic, Canada. We actually have about 53 dealerships. We have 4 all EV Canada locations as well. I know here at our store, we're one of the largest. Actually, we are the largest GM dealer in Atlantic, Canada, and we've been very pro EV now for a while. This year alone, we've been adding more and more infrastructure because it is, it's not a matter is it coming. The future is kind of here. We were just saying, I spending about $1 million in infrastructure spending from, new, not just chargers, but for upgraded 1600 plus amp electrical services and transformers and stuff, just because, we had a lot of vehicles in operation already. We do have quite a selection of, we have a handful of chargers right now in the dealership, and even now, and it's only 2021, and I'm sure if you asked people a couple of years ago, are you really going to need all these chargers? We are. We're actually constantly shuffling cars around to the dealership, hence why we're going to, we're working on expanding the stuff. It's kind of funny, we're talking about, we always do get lots of people from the public and traveling and coming through, so we always put our stuff on.
Well, you're on PlugShare, so that's how I
Yeah,
found
we
out
put
about
it on PlugShare, and right now, we have since the beginning just run it as a free service. So I mean, if anyone's coming
And
through,
thank you, I appreciate
oh
that.
yeah, Audis or not, we'll take Audis Porsches, and whatever. And more so, just so I find EV community is more of an advocacy right now.
Absolutely.
As I was saying, people that come in here and test drive a Bolt, as an example, we sell lots of Bolts and Bolt UVs. I'll probably deliver a little over 30 of them between this month and next month as new products landing.
Excellent.
But I've never had a customer get out of one and not be happy. Someone can go into a regular car and drive it and they come back, you know what, it wasn't exactly what I was hoping or whatever. 100% of every customer that's ever gone for a drive in one of our fully electric vehicles always comes back with a big smile on their face. This is never what they expect. It's always like, oh my God, this thing's really fast. It's, it's got lots of space in it. This is just simply not what I was expecting. So we've been super committed. We're very excited about it. As I also mentioned, about just getting customers into it. Now, COVID's kind of thrown a little bit of a wrench into things. Prior to COVID really getting full gear, we were running a couple of ICE vehicles, SUVs as shuttle services and so forth. And so we actually had switched all of our company vehicles over to full electric vehicles for 2 reasons. One main reason was just to get bums in the seats, because it's one of those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone gets into it, they're in getting their, Chevy Cruze or pickup truck or whatever in for service, and they've never been in an electric vehicle before. So we were able to put, a lot of people behind the seats of these cars. And again, everyone that comes out, it's like, wow, they're out for a drive with the shuttle driver, and they're, man, is this thing like full electric? Is there anything? And the nice thing with them, we're running, on average, we run 300 to 400 kilometers a day, and that's stop and go and run into the city and passengers and multiple drops. And we do it in single charge. So we just, charges overnight, a level 2 charger. We jump in the morning, we run it all day. Between regenerative braking and single foot pedal driving in the vehicle, we could run our shuttles all day on a single charge. We don't have to worry about taking them down for oil changes. That was a really big pain in the butt as well, because we're busy every day with service customers. We service about 120 customer cars a day, every single day that goes through. So as those customers are running shuttles, it's terrible, like, oh, today we need to change oil. It's going to be a problem. Electric car, I don't need to do that anymore.
That's right.
And we were running them in the wintertime, summertime, and single charge and running. So it allowed for a lot of people to get behind the seats. And so far it's been working, knock on wood.
No, that's good.
We've been selling every single one that we get. And we're excited. We're going to be, we're signed up, and we have some new Hummers that are going to be coming. We've got some Cadillac Lyrics that are going to be coming.
Yeah, that looks like a very exciting vehicle.
Oh, that Lyric is really going to replaced what the XT5 is now. I'm one of a couple of members on the Cadillac brand strategy board for Canada. So we get a lot of insight on what's coming in the Cadillac, and they're fully electrifying the entire Cadillac brand over the next couple of years. There's going to be no gas cars. But even like the Lyric, I mean, this thing's self-driving, so a real autonomous driving with a Super Cruise, 22-inch wheels, very fancy vehicle. And they're going to be starting in the 60s, like a $65,000.
Yeah, that's a great price.
And that's not a starting for a price. That's an actual launch edition, fully loaded with all the goodies.
That's actually sounds pretty darn good. And I'm finding more and more that the pricing of an equivalent vehicle versus ICE and electric, now the electric is almost the same price. And when you take into consideration the fuel expenses and the maintenance costs, your cost of ownership is actually lower.
Very much so. Yeah.
And that's very attractive to people.
Yeah, and we've got a pretty big boost this year because the Nova Scotia government has added on a provincial rebate as well. So now we get a $5,000 federal rebate, we get a $3,000 provincial rebate on new, and we also get a $2,000 provincial rebate on pre-owned electric vehicles as well. Yeah. And $1,000 on I'll call it a plug-in hybrid, so kind of a middle-of-the-road electric vehicle. So that's really allowed for some crazy pricing. I mean, you get into a new 2022 Bolt for sub 30, like $29,000. And in the new GM programs, they'll even install the electrical hookup at no charge in their house. They'll actually put an EMA outlet in your house up to $1,500. They'll cover the cost and have all that done for you.
Yeah, I find that more and more dealerships are doing that. Yeah. And it just makes it that much easier to get into an EV.
Yeah.
And what would you say are some of your customers' concerns when they're initially thinking about EVs? And how do you come to give them a reason to overcome those concerns?
Well, big one was, and I think General Motors did a really good job of this, recognized on charging. Like, most people think, I got to go to the gas station and, how do I refuel my vehicle? So they're kind of taking that out of the equation, whereas they'll actually cover and handle all the installation at your house. So for somebody that has maybe even already has their second or third generation EV owner and they already have the charging system, they don't need that, they'll give like a $750 flow charge card. In lieu of.
That's really good.
And then all of our Bolt EUVs, so now you're seeing all the new product come standard with a level 2 portable charger. So you can actually take it with you, hence, so basically you don't have to worry about charging at home because the electrical hookup will be done at no cost to you, and they provide a charger for you. So it's like having your own free gas station, running around with you. So that's normally the biggest one. And then the other piece is range anxiety, which again, the new vehicles are getting 480 kilometers of range and quite easy. Like I say, in like real world, we're running shuttle services 300 to 400 kilometers a day in the city and running and going. And we have lots there. We could probably even exceed that. Just again, a little bit of its driving cabin characteristics and using, one pedal driving and so forth, regenerative.
But I'll just add to that conversation is when somebody is having range anxiety when they're going on a long trip, they're unfamiliar with where to charge, how to charge, and when to charge.
That's right.
And the truth is, I'm finding that once you're used to knowing where the chargers are through different apps, whether it's a Petro-Canada app or Electrify Canada app or PlugShare, it makes it very easy to find these chargers, and it tells you what type of chargers they are.
That's right.
And whether you're staying at a hotel, you can just plug in. And a lot of the hotels now are offering free charging.
That's right.
And also
the manufacturers are really getting on board with it because, in General Motors land, we have typically have our like my Chevrolet or GMC, and in this case, my Bolt app. And that app will do that. So I can read from my phone how much charge is in the car. It will tell, as I'm driving. So if I'm going somewhere, it will give you, here's all the chargers that are within range that are going to provide. You can do all your trip mapping through your app or on your iPad. It will beam that information into your car. And even with OnStar Concierge Service, like it's very hard to get yourself in trouble. If anything, it makes for a little bit of an adventure doing it. We had a client picked up a new Bolt, and again, this is prior to COVID. actually bought a Volt and took them 3 days and drove to Florida in. I myself was amazed. I like to think of myself a little bit of an EV advocate myself, and was surprised that, you know, you're thinking, well, you got 400 and some kilometers, you know, how far can you really go? Said, yeah, 3 days. I tripped it out, used my app, and boom, I was.
Yeah,
I was
and it's
in-
just
I
a
was in
matter of
Florida.
getting used to something new. Just like getting used to, you know, a new iPhone, for example. If you've been, like for me, I was a BlackBerry user, and it took me a few days to get used to it. But after that, it was like second nature.
Yeah, the majority of the time, I'd say like 98% of the time that we drive a car, what are we doing? We're going back and forth to work, I'm running to the store, I'm doing whatever. The odds of you even using a public charger are extremely low. I mean, they're really for, I'm going on a trip, I'm driving from Vancouver and I'm driving across country and I'm doing that stuff. You know, and I need to go find a public source one.
Right.
But generally, you know, the average person spends most of their life driving to work,
That's
visiting
right.
friends and
95%
family.
of the time.
Yeah, and so you're never worried about, you know, where do I got to go to charge it, because you always have a full tank of gas. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like a gas car. Is your gas car always 100% full every day you get into it?
No.
It's not. Like, and again, I find it funny when someone's like, well, you know, I'm scared because I got to go fill up. Listen, you have just as much issue running out of gas as you do running
That's
out of
right.
electricity.
And the thing is, I find it's actually, like, people think, well, I have to wait. But if you plan your day waiting, instead of going to a charger and just kind of hanging around, you can be doing other things that you would otherwise need to do.
That's right.
For example, going out for dinner.
That's right.
You find a charger at a restaurant that's close, and you just plug it in.
Yeah.
When you finish your dinner, you got a full charge.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And there's a lot of places now, and I'm sure this will change as time. It's hard to say, but it's funny. My doctor has an electric vehicle, and he brags about the fact he's never paid for $1 of electricity. So
Right.
I go to
Right.
the local university has a gym that he goes to, and they have a public charger in the parking lot he plugs into, in his office building, which he
Yeah,
has this thing, has a
that's
charging
right.
unit. So it's amazing when you start looking around how much access is.
That's right.
It's kind of like you see a car on the road and you don't know, then you buy one yourself, and then all of a sudden you're driving around, geez, I see these cars everywhere I go. It's one of those things, unless you're looking for it, you don't really pay
That's
attention
right.
to it.
You're right on that.
And electric chargers are the same. So someone that's not in that world, you know, you kind of dream, you know, where's the local gas station? You know where the gas station is, your community, but you're not really paying attention to where your local charger. But once you have it,
That's right.
and there's a lot of apps, like say PlugShare, I use PlugShare on my phone.
Yeah, it's like the Bible for EVers.
It is, but you know, the manufacturers are really, really getting on strong with it. So I find like the OnStar and the Guardian apps that for us in GM land, and they are incredible. And they'll allow for trip mapping, so it talks between your phone, if your iPad talks to the car. It gives all the information, so you can really, so on that 2% of the time you're actually doing some extensive road trips and you're going along, I'm here and I'm driving to Toronto. Okay, and just really put it in my phone. I'm driving from Halifax, Toronto, and it will stop here and here. And
It's a different way of thinking, but that way of thinking is exciting.
yeah,
It's fun.
yeah,
And it makes a lot of sense, and it's way more economical.
yeah. You say, you know,
And we haven't even talked about, you know, helping the environment and not polluting with all the carbon footprint that you'd be otherwise putting out. So that's another big deal.
it's very true. And performance. I mean, it's
All these
coming.
factors.
It's here. It is not going away. And I think the
Yeah.
people that embrace this now are going to be a lot further ahead than the people that are somehow, some way holding on to business we tried to do 50 years ago.
That's right.
To get in trouble.
Well, I'm really glad that you're really taking this incredibly seriously, but more importantly, passionately.
Oh yeah, no,
And I want to commend you.
this is cool stuff. I'm a licensed, I'm a truck and transport mechanic and a diesel technician by trade. So going and switching and getting away from dirty old diesels into, you know, the electric future is, I think it is pretty cool.
Anyway, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you all the very best in the future of electrification.
And if you don't make it back to Vancouver or in BC in your Audi, electric Audi, I'm sure we can fix you up with an electric Chevy.
Okay. Okay, that's a good joke. Okay, very good.
All right.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.